So here I'm going to go through question 1 of the 2023 AP Statistics free response question. If there are any because the solutions don't come out until July or August, late in the summer, these might have mistakes in them. If there are any mistakes, I'm going to put them in the comments below and the description. So check those if you think that there's any mistakes or already caught mistakes here. So let's take a look at this. Part of a study in the chemistry of Alaskan streams, researchers took water samples from any stream with temperatures colder than 8 degrees Celsius and from many streams with temperatures warmer than 8 degrees Celsius. For each sample, the researchers measured the dissolved oxygen concentration in milligrams per minute. So they got both colder and warmer. The researchers constructed the histogram shown with experiments with water temperatures colder than 8 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this is the less than 8 degrees Celsius one. Based on the histogram, describe the distribution of the dissolved concentration in streams with water temperatures. Okay, so for histogram, you always want to hit the main parts. So you want to talk about the center. You want to talk about the spread. You want to talk about the shape. You want to talk about any potential outliers. Okay? So those are kind of like the main things we want to do to describe this distribution. So this is, in terms of the center, like that could be the median or the mean. So I would talk about the shape and the spread first. Usually the first things I talk about. This is a unimodal distribution that is left skewed. Skewed left because it's, not quite symmetric. That is skewed left. Okay, I would say the median is probably somewhere around here. You can do the median by just counting out like what's about 50%. Looks like if I were to count all this up, there's a total of, I don't know, somewhere around 300-ish just by eyeballing my estimate. So somewhere around 150 is going to be, so I say between the 11 and the 12 maybe is probably where the median's going to be. But I would say the median is between, what is it? What is the units of this? 11 milligrams per liter. 11 to 12 milligrams per liter. Okay. So that takes of the center. The range. So if you talk about spread, the range is approximately. This is probably the easiest one to do. The range goes from like 2 to 14. The range is, 12 milligrams per liter, and you can put in parentheses I did 14 minus 2. Or you could say the range is less than. You don't know the exact value. I would say less than between that because the smallest it could be is 2 and the larger is 14. And then I would say this guy looks a possible outlier. And then there's one data point between 2 and 3 milligrams per liter. That is a possible outlier. Okay, and so that's kind of the main thing. So I get the center, I get the spread, I get the shape, I get the outliers. Okay, that should be pretty good. I mean, there's there's other things you could have done. You could have counted out. You could have added this all up. You could have counted, like for spread, you could have done like the IQR if you wanted to. You would have to calculate like or an approximate value of the IQR, but I like range because it's simpler to calculate. All right, so here they give you the data here. The researchers compute the summary statistics shown in the table. This is for warmer, so this is not the same as the table. This is for greater than 8 degrees Celsius. Use the summary statistics to construct a box plot for the dissolved oxygen and do not indicate outliers. Okay, so they don't want you to do outliers, so they just want you to do kind of the boxes are around Q1 and Q3, so 4.39. So 4.39 is going to be, we'll just do the box right here. So 4.5, 4.4, that's about the 4.39. Q3 is about 6.12. 6.12 is slightly past the 6 there. So put it around there. And then we'll put a line for the median right at 5.43. Okay. And if they don't want the outliers, I think it would be okay just to do the min and the max. So 2.1 is going to be the minimum. Normally I would do like a fence, but if they don't want the outliers, then I'm just going to do the min and the max. So 13.45. 13.45 is about there. And so then I would draw a line that looks like this. Okay, so that takes about that. So, you min, max, Q1, Q2 or median, and then Q3. The researchers believe that streams with higher dissolved oxygen concentration are generally healthier for wildlife. Which streams are generally healthier for wildlife? Those with water temperatures colder or higher. So like basically they want a higher number here. Well, in general, you would say like in general, I would say the center is like for the colder ones looks better, right? Between 11 and 12 is kind of where that center is. And here the median is like 5.43. So I would talk about using now let's be careful on what they're asking. Using characteristics of the distribution of dissolved oxygen and characteristics of the distribution of the oxygen and justify your answer. So I would say the median, okay? And you could say even if you wanted to talk about, you could talk about the middle 50%, right? Like this region here would be the middle 50%. So this is the mid 50%. Even not just the median, but you could say the middle 50%, the Q1 to Q3, is far lower than what the mid 50% of here is going to be, right? Because if you add all these up, like, maybe I'll just use a calculator, add up all those numbers real quick. So in the interest of time and not showing you me do the calculator, there's 429. Half of that would be like, 214. So 214 is going to be like somewhere around, I don't know, yeah, like so like how this is the median. But like, what's the center 214 is definitely going to be in here, right? That's going to add up to more than 214. So the center is between 10 between 10 to 13 contains more than 50%. So I probably would, and then here's like 50% is between like, 4.39 to 6.12. So, that's one way I would justify it. There's probably a lot of ways you could have described the median. I like to do a range because it's like generally better. But so I would say something like, the less than, first answer the question, less than 8 degrees seems better, healthier for wildlife. Because the greater than 8 degrees Celsius has 50% of the samples between, and then use the Q1 and the Q3 between 4.39 and 6.12 milligrams per liter. Whereas the the less than 8 degrees Celsius has over 50% of the data of the samples between, what are the numbers? Between 10 to 13, right? Between 10 to 13 milligrams per liter. So more of the, I would make a little slight conclusion because they're really picky on this kind of stuff. 8 degrees Celsius. So more of the 8 degrees Celsius samples have a higher oxygen concentration. Okay, so that's exactly probably what I would put there. And that's it for the first FRQ.